Coming up on the Raiders Report, we got new must-see Tom Brady rumors to Las Vegas. CJ Stroud, one of the top quarterbacks in this year's draft, finally is declared. The latest Lamar Jackson odds. The big-time quarterback's going to be a free agent. Find out where the Raiders are on the list. And then Sean Payton to the AFC West. I said it. Sean Payton, I believe, comes to the AFC West. That's all coming up right now here on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. And coming up here on today's show, the top trending news, rumors, everything you need to know around the silver and black. And the top story that we're going to hit here, and we have to do it. I know a lot of fans are sick and tired of talking about Tom Brady. If Tom Brady never even comes to the Raiders, I'm going to be sick and tired that I spent this much time on this man. But we got to talk about the top thing. Ian Rapoport said today, I think it makes a lot of sense for everyone in regards to Brady joining Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler, and Las Vegas. Brady is obviously going to be a free agent in 2023 and probably one of the top free agents out there. Also, one of the key things that I heard Rapoport say today was that he doesn't believe that Brady is going to retire this offseason. If guys like Rapoport, Albert Breer just saying Brady's going to the Raiders, the most likely destination is Brady to the Raiders, you have to be able to stop and think, okay, these guys got a lot of sources, and they're going to continue to go that route. So in terms of him retiring, Rapp said that his hunch is that Brady will play at least one more year. I have said that for a long time, too. I don't see Brady hanging up the cleats. I see Tom trying to extend his legacy and continue to make it great. That's what Brady cares about right now. And if they lose today to the Cowboys, he's going to continue to drive to make sure that people know he is the greatest of all time. And I do think a little notch on his belt would be going to the Raiders, a team that has not won in a very long time, and he has the opportunity to do that. So if somebody were to ask me, okay, Mitch, what do you think are the top Brady destinations in 2023? Number one on my list would be the Las Vegas Raiders, and it's really not that close. Number 2 would be the Miami Dolphins. Number 3 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And number 4 is he would just flat out retire. I did say previously on a show that I really do think it's between the Raiders, the Dolphins, and him retiring. Then most recently, Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel and owner came out and said that their plan is to roll with Tua Tagovailoa as the quarterback next year. I have hinted on this show and other shows that I've done here at Chat Sports that it wouldn't surprise me if Tua decided to retire because of his 3 concussions this year. And I also know that Tom Brady has a great relationship with Stephen Ross, Dolphins owner. I mean, they go all the way back from their time in Michigan. Hell, the Michigan School of Business is called the Ross School of Business. They have a great relationship. The story with Brian Flores, the player on the yacht, that was Tom Brady. So I have always said it's either Miami or the Raiders. And if they're already telling you that it's going to be Tua, you might be able to take Miami out of the race. This is what Rapoport, again, had to say on Brady to Las Vegas. The Raiders are an interesting thing. They've got a lot of his old friends. They seem like a good team that would just drop in a quarterback. They also could do something very cool, which is draft a quarterback and have Tom Brady play 1 year. For those of you that have watched the show for a long time, what have I been saying for, I feel like, months? When the Brady rumors started to pop up, I have said if I was running the Raiders organization, you bring in Tom Brady and then you put in a young quarterback that you can have learn underneath him because I believe Brady might be able to teach the Josh McDaniels system better than Josh McDaniels. So I've been trying to tell y'all, you bring in a young quarterback when you have Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not the long term, no. But bringing in Brady, I do think also makes a lot of sense, not only for the short term, but it helps long term. Because if you can have a quarterback learn underneath the GOAT, I can only imagine that's going to be very, very good things in the long haul. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, we're going to talk about CJ Stroud because he did finally declare. But I take a lot of pride in what we do here on the Raiders Report. And if you're looking for free videos during the entire offseason, I got you covered. I think we're going to be doing more live videos this offseason, even more videos, maybe 2 a day. We are currently at 131,365 subs. I would like to get, by midnight tonight, 131,500. We need 135 more to go. So if you bleed silver and black, hit the subscribe button. Let me prove to you why we are the best Raiders YouTube channel out there. Let's talk about CJ Stroud because there's a lot of people out there Didn't know if he was going to declare for the NFL draft. He had, as of today, January 16th, to decide whether or not he wanted to go back to Ohio State or if he wanted to enter the NFL draft. And he posted on social media thanking everybody from the Buckeyes. Though he said Buckeye Nation. I almost just wanted to comment underneath. Come on, man. There's only one nation. However, though, he is in the draft portal, which now means you have another top quarterback out there that could potentially go off the board. I have said multiple times that I was told by a good source that Dave Ziegler likes Stroud. He obviously likes other quarterbacks a lot, but in terms of being able to fit in their offense, they do like Stroud. He might be there at pick number 7. It's always very difficult to be able to put your finger on where QBs go. I do think Bryce Young's the first QB off the board, but there are some scouts out there that think that Will Levis could go above Stroud, and if that happens, Stroud's going to fall down the board a little bit. The Raiders would want him to learn behind Brady for a year or whoever the quarterback would be. I know plan A right now for the Raiders is Tom Brady. If they don't get Brady, then it's Jimmy Garoppolo. I think either scenario, they would like to have Stroud learn underneath. Why? Because he has the size. He has the arm strength. He has really good accuracy to be great in the NFL. When you turn on the tape and you watch Stroud, he does look different than other Ohio State quarterbacks. Is that offensive scheme friendly? No doubt about it. But he is a pocket passer. He's a good athlete. Some of those other quarterbacks that came out of Ohio State weren't the passer that Stroud is. The thing that scares me with Stroud is when he tries to get outside the pocket or where things break down, he does almost seem like he panics a little bit. And that, to me, can take time to learn because if you can learn the offense, you're going to get better. And that's why you would want Stroud to learn underneath a quarterback like Brady for 1 year. Now, I say that he struggles at times, but you know what? He was incredible against Georgia. 23 of 34, 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The team that had the most close, to an NFL defense this past year in college was the Georgia Bulldogs. And Stroud straight out went there and carved them up. Looked really impressive. Really drove up his draft stock. But you know what? There are going to be teams out there that look at his tape from Michigan, which not all that great. There's going to be people out there like, well, you see the wide receivers that kid has, the offensive lineman that young man has. There's a lot of things that are going to go into Stroud, but I do know this. Every single Raider fan should have them on their draft board. I put out a video earlier in the week. I believe it was on Sunday. Some of y'all might have missed it because of all the crazy NFL games that were going on, and I don't blame you. I sat there with Chuck and Alex. We watched a lot of playoff games. But if you want to check it out, it's my Raiders 2023 big board, the top 10 players that I believe the Raiders should try to target at 7. Find out where CJ Stroud is on that list. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, the latest Lamar Jackson odds. Baltimore lost in a heartbreaking game to Cincinnati. I still can't believe Tyler Huntley tried to extend that ball. But, hey, it is what it is. J.K. Dobbins said that if they would have had Lamar, they would have won the game. Well, we're going to find out where Vegas believes that Jackson is going to be playing football next season because he is a free agent. Before I show you all those odds, today's show is presented by LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. If it wasn't for LinkedIn, I wouldn't be here at Chat Sports. And if anybody out there is trying to grow their own small business, LinkedIn's the place to do it. Go to linkedin.com/NFL Daily. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people to your team faster and for free. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Talent Solutions #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. That's linkedin.com/NFL Daily to post your jobs for free. Terms and conditions apply. If some of y'all were just listening to me ramble and talk about LinkedIn, hey, I appreciate that. I am going to put the links for you guys down in the comments, down in the description, because I'm very proud of what we've been able to build here at Chat Sports. Y'all deserve a lot of credit in that. There's no doubt about it. But I use LinkedIn, we use LinkedIn, and I believe our company's grown from 4 to now over 20 people. So shout out to them. Let's get into these Lamar Jackson odds, if you will. Now, these are, if you look at the title, if he leaves the Baltimore Ravens. I believe the top team is still the Ravens. If he goes, though, Vegas is saying plus 400 odds for New England, plus 500 odds for the Jets. And then tied for third is the Atlanta Falcons, and then the team that y'all and I care about, the Las Vegas Raiders at plus 600. I will admit the one team that I was a little bit surprised wasn't on here was the Miami Dolphins. But then again, if the reports came out that they're going to stick with Tua, I have a hard time believing if Miami was like, do we want Tua or Lamar Jackson? They're going to choose Tua. No, they would choose Lamar Jackson. In terms of a career from a passing standpoint, what I really want you all to see is just how much Jackson's numbers are starting to fall off. Nobody's going to deny the talent. Nobody's going to deny that he's one of the most intriguing NFL players that we have ever seen from the quarterback position. I'll make the argument, when healthy, he's the greatest rushing quarterback of all time, right? 2019, he won an MVP, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Injuries, though, have started to slow up, and when you're talking about a quarterback who's probably going to be one of the top 5 highest-paid QBs of all time, $45 million a year, and then you look at 16, 17, 33 combined touchdowns over the past 2 seasons, doesn't give you a lot of confidence. And rushing is where Lamar is the difference maker. He's a good passer. He doesn't get enough credit because he can throw the football. If you can't get the running ability, though, from Lamar, that's where this discussion goes a little bit different. And again, 2019, 2020, those are insane years by all stretches of the imagination. But we got back-to-back years. Back-to-back years. He's got 38 combined touchdowns through the air and on the ground. And for somebody who's going to make as much money as what Lamar is, I do think NFL teams are going to be a little bit cautious about how much money, if he does become available, they would try to give him. So where do you think, y'all, in terms of Lamar Jackson? He's an incredible player. There's no doubt about it, right? From top to bottom, Lamar is a great, great player. Do you want Lamar Jackson on the Raiders? Why for yes, or you're going to type your N for no. If you want to break down why the answer is still yes, I can give you a bunch of reasons why the answer is yes. If he's healthy, he gives you a chance to win every single week. The reason why it might be a no is because you look at a lot of the teams in the playoffs right now. I get it, Mahomes, Allen, those guys are great. There's a lot of quarterbacks, though, that were top 5 highest paid QBs, didn't make the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, there's number 1. Russell Wilson. Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, your top 4 highest-paid QBs, they didn't make the playoffs this year. For me, though, I know before I've said on this show that I would hand Lamar Jackson a blank check. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to make him a top 5 highest-paid quarterback. And if that means we don't get him, then so be it. Because I have not seen from Jackson, especially of late, that he's going to be somebody that you can win at the end of the season. He has struggled in the playoffs, which that's another thing that I think all Raider fans want. We want a quarterback who's going to be able to succeed. If Jackson becomes available, money is going to be a big thing. But even if you add a quarterback like Jackson and that doesn't give you as much money to go out and address the offensive line and the defense, we might just be in the exact same spot that we're in. Now, we are going to continue to break down Sean Payton here in a little bit, but I did see this, and this is why I wanted to bring it up today. This one from Ari Meroff. Sean Payton said on The Herd that he has spoken to the Saints GM Mickey Loomis, and trade compensation to acquire him will probably be a mid to late first-round pick. Could change depending on teams, but that seems to be the asking price. So with that new NFL news on Sean Payton, what does that mean? I think that there are 2 teams that Sean would like to go to, and unfortunately for the Silver and Black, they're both in the AFC West. The first team, the Los Angeles Chargers. I know Brandon Staley hasn't been fired yet. He's going to get fired. He was going to get fired even if they lost that game. And then the fact that they blew a 27-0 lead, which, by the way, electric watch party with Chugs and I. Shout out to all the goats that were in the chat there. Brandon Jasper, Tri Van. I mean, we had Hellcat Q, tons and tons of fun. Payton loves Justin Herbert's talent. It's hard not to. I think from a talent standpoint, he's a top 6 quarterback in the NFL. And Payton wants to stay in Los Angeles. I was told that by a very reliable source that Payton would like to stay in L.A. Then you got to go to the other side of the AFC West. It's the Denver Broncos. They already fired Nathaniel Hackett. There's reports out there that Denver could give him $20 million a year. Remember when the Raiders gave John Gruden 10 years, 10 years at $10 million a pop. That was a lot of money. Right now, Sean McVay is the highest paid coach at about $15 million. Denver has the money to be able to make him the highest, and the reason why, they're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that the Russell Wilson trade worked. So, in terms of Payton, where do you think he ends up next season? I mean, he's going to get his list. Every single NFL head coaching vacancy, they're going to have Sean Payton at number one, and they should. He's had a lot of success in the NFL, and if you got a quarterback that you need to work around, Payton might be your guy to make it work. Where do you think Payton's going to coach next season? My money, again, is going to go on either the Chargers or the Denver Broncos is where Payton ends up. I am going to even put more money. If it's just team versus team, I think he ends up choosing the Chargers. If he goes with the money, then I think he ends up going with the Denver Broncos. I actually got one more bonus story for all of you, but before I get into it, always remember, hit me up on Twitter for the latest Raiders news. Get to know me on a more personal basis over here on IG. I've been trying to do a lot better job of answering my DMs, so hopefully y'all can recognize that. Over on Locals, Raidersport.locals.com, we do at least one... it's going to be 2 live shows every single week, so if you want to get to know me a little bit better, that's the place for diehard Raider fans. Coming up, my final story today, and I've been trying to give you guys longer Raiders report videos, and I hope you all can see the hustle Chugs and I are putting into making this channel continue to grow. But my final story here, and I want to give a shout-out to Hondo Carpenter. Hondo last offseason talked a lot about Josh McDaniels, and to be honest, I never even heard of the guy, and now I've started to follow him a little bit more closely. Well, he put out an article that said, what went wrong with Las Vegas Raiders and Derek Carr? If you get 20 minutes today to read his article, because it is a lot, and all of its bullet points. So the way our graphic systems work, I can't do bullet points. So what I try to do here is do quotes of my favorite parts. And there's one section of his article that I absolutely love. So that's what you guys are going to see here. But please take time today. Go check out the article on SI. Hondo, hell of a job, man. So here we go. Ziegler and McDaniels knew that Carr was loved in his locker room. And they also knew that while Carr had lost no friends in the locker room, one advantage to the new Raiders way is that everyone knows how the others are performing. Derek's teammates knew this was not all his fault. Derek's teammates also knew he had not played well. As the franchise quarterback and highest paid player, that isn't acceptable. As one player said, Max Crosby, Josh Jacobs, and Devontae Adams played on the team. They played at a high level all year. Let's not pretend it was mean-spirited to put the blame when due on Derek Carr as well. While I believe the franchise would have preferred I not ask my question to McDaniels on benching Carr, I did. Carr was the consummate professional. When it was explained to him that they were not making him the scapegoat, but that they had decided to bench him because of the contract and guarantees, he got it. Derek understood when the team explained how his presence could distract both parties, and he stayed away. Hurt? I'm sure. Carr had been a true professional, but he also had been paid handsomely. You might not like that Derek was benched, that is fair, but acting as if he was the victim is foolish. While I am sure every player wants the unmitigated support of Mark Davis, his only obligation is to honor contracts. Mark Davis did his job. Neither party is happy that it came to this, but both parties are excited about the future. So Hondo, again, really cool article, and that's like not even a tenth of what Hondo wrote in there. My take is there's no doubt. It was time to move on from Derek. It's time for the Raiders to move on as well. I'm going to wish DC nothing but the best. I mean, that's kind of what you have to do. But I do think when you think about this, you can take two sides. And this whole Derek Carr saga has really divided the nation, and I'm hoping that we as Raider fans can come together because, remember, nobody is greater than the Shield. But I do have to ask this question because I'm going to be looking at it, and I know y'all are too. It's like when your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, starts dating a new guy, you're going to compare yourself to that guy. Shit, you might compare yourself to her as well. When DC goes and wherever he goes, I'm going to be looking at that team and how he plays. So my question to you is this. Who's going to be the first person to win a playoff game? If you think it's Derek Carr, type DC. If you think it's the Raiders, I want you to type LV. I believe if the Raiders bring in a reliable veteran quarterback, I'll say it right now, you bring in Tom Brady, the Raiders will win a playoff game before Derek Carr. And this isn't really so much a knock on DC. I just don't view him as a top 16 quarterback anymore. That's what I saw last season. And for that, I'm not going to put my money on him winning a playoff game. Depends where he goes. but Derek definitely has taken a big step back, which Hondo absolutely indicated. And if you look at the article, other players saw it too. Before we end today's show, Jeremy and I, we are going to be live today on the Raiders Report, a little Cowboys versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Monday watch party. If you enjoy our Thursday night watch party shows, you're going to have a hell of a time tonight. We're going to be giving away a Raiders helmet signed by Chugs and I. So hit that subscribe button, tune on in, and hopefully it's a good game, because that's all we can ask for during these watch parties.